Hey YouTube, hey subscribers, thanks for tuning in. I got a comment on my How the Narcissistic Male Views Marriage video, and the individual asked me, he said, I listened to your video, I read through the comments, and I feel like I have a lot of these behaviors, but when I research how not to be a narcissist, there's not very much information out there. So I wrote him back and told him that I would do a video for him because I believe his request was sincere, and I really do. And the reason I believe his request is sincere and not, trolling is because true narcissists would never ask for help. True narcissists are not looking for a way to fix it. This guy is an individual that I would call a narcissistic fence walker, and I did a video on that a couple months ago. Narcissistic fence walkers are basically people whose thinking has never been challenged. They've been allowed to carve out these mental pathways that really lead them to destruction, but because the pathway is so set, they don't know how to kind of break out of that pathway, and it's really about just forming new pathways. And I believe in terms of science has something to do with the neurons, neurological pathways, I don't know, something to that effect. So a fence walker is someone who probably grew up around a lot of narcissists. They never had their thinking challenged. They haven't been around enough people and had enough conversations with enough different people to ever think differently about anything. So as a result, they develop these narcissistic behaviors and they don't know how to fix it. So his desire to fix it tells me he's probably not a true narcissist. He's a fence walker and he wants to break out of it. So this video is for you. Now, a real narcissist might come along, listen to this video and try to apply all of the tips in an effort to be more manipulative. And that's fine, because the thing about true narcissists is that they can't keep up being a good person for very long. So they can mimic these behaviors, they can try it, but they can't keep it up for very long because that inner narcissism is going to override every time. So I'm not worried about that. Let's jump right into this video. This is for that gentleman. I hope you hear it. I'll go try to find your comment and let you know that it's up now, but I hope you internalize it, take it to heart, and if you find that it works for you and you know other individuals who think this way, please share this video with them, share what you've learned with them, and let's try to change this. We have to combat this mindset. We have to do something because the world is spiraling out of control, and it all comes back to narcissism. And I actually might do a video on that called All Roads Lead to Narcissism, because they do. So let's do our part to make sure that this doesn't happen anymore, okay? So the very first thing that you have to accept is that other people are real, and other people's thoughts, their opinions, their ideas matter. When they're using their voice, when they're using their words, those words are real to them. They're expressing what's going on inside of their heart and their mind. So one of the things that a lot of narcissists do is have a tendency to immediately discount anything anyone else says. They don't think it matters. A lot of narcissists believe that their thoughts are the only thoughts that matter. They also believe they've thought everything through. They believe that they have all of the information, and they believe that they're the smartest person in the room. So the first thing you have to do, and this gentleman I believe was talking about saving his marriage with his wife, is you have to value your wife as a real person, just as real as you. If you get cut, you bleed. If she gets cut, she bleeds. She has things that she likes. She has things that she doesn't like. You have to accept that she has a right to like things and not like things. She has a right to think differently than you. A lot of narcissists try to make people like they're teddy bears. They try to make people move and think and act and breathe and find the same things funny and turned off by the same things. So the first thing you have to accept and internalize as a narcissist potentially is that other people can be very, very different from you, and it's okay. So a lot of men, unfortunately, anytime a woman is talking, they label it emotional. So it doesn't matter if she's talking loud, if she's talking softly, if she's speaking rapidly or if she's speaking slowly, if she's crying or if she's not crying, it's all labeled emotional simply because it's coming from a woman. You have to let that go. You have to release that mindset that anytime a woman is talking, she's just bitching and being emotional. That is not true. Imagine how it feels where every time you speak, someone treats you as if you're speaking a different language and they don't understand what you're saying. Imagine her frustration over time. Imagine her disgust toward you over time. I guarantee she doesn't want to sleep with you very much anymore. And if you do get around to sleeping with each other, it probably takes her a lot to get aroused because she's fundamentally turned off by you. You treat her like she doesn't exist, like she's not a real human being, like she doesn't matter, like the words that she says don't matter. She could say, honey, we won the lottery. We did a lottery pool at work. We won $50 million. And it might take you a week to finally realize what she said to you. Or, honey, we're running out of money and we're about to lose the house. It might take you 3 days to finally process what she said to you. So a lot of men accuse women of nagging. It's not that women are nagging. It's that when she said it the first time, you ignored her. When you said it the second time, you ignored her. When she said it the third time, you ignored her. So over time, she just keeps saying it, thinking that maybe if I just keep saying it, eventually it'll click and it'll register. What she doesn't realize is anything coming out of her mouth is not valued by you. So she might as well stop because her voice and her opinions and her thoughts don't matter to you. Now, the fact that she's still with you says a lot about her. It says that she has a lot of faith, and it says that she really believes this marriage can be saved, and God bless her for that. But if you continue along this pathway, your marriage will fail. It will end because no one likes to be treated like they're not standing in the room. No one likes to be treated like they're not real. So that's the very, very first thing that you have to do is accept that all people, including women, including your wife, are real. They're real people, just like you. They think, they breathe, they sleep, they eat, they feel different things just like you. Accept that first, and you're already on a pathway to coming up out of this type of behavior. The next thing that you're going to have to do to have a little bit more success with your wife and to have more success coming out of this narcissistic mindset is that you are going to have to stop talking and really, really listen. In my mind, the conversations that occur between you and your wife are pretty one-sided, and the one side that does the most of the talking is probably you. So your wife starts speaking, you probably interrupt her. She tries to get a thought out, you cut her off, and then you go down 3 different pathways that she now has to try to follow you down all 3 different pathways. She tries to get different various thoughts out, but you're only interested in hearing your own voice because you think your voice is the most important and you think your voice is the only real voice that matters. How would you feel if your boss treated you that way at work? Or maybe your boss does treat you that way at work. How does that make you feel? Feeling like you have no voice, feeling like you can't get a word out and you can never explain yourself because this other person doesn't value you enough to let you speak and just listen to what you're saying. Because 99% of the time, if you just listen, you'll hear a message and you'll have a change of thought and a change of course. And it's very simple. Life is actually pretty easy. We make it hard. So stop talking and just listen. Just listen. Just let her get her thoughts out. I would challenge you, if you have some type of timer on your cell phone or like on a smartwatch, to time 2 minutes. Put 2 minutes on the clock, hit start, and don't say a word until your 2 minutes are up. Even if she stops talking, don't say a word until your 2 minutes are up because she probably has a lot of thoughts in there and she might have to take a pause every now and then because she hasn't been able to speak for years. So after the 2 minutes are up, you say, okay, honey, can I respond to that? Then you respond for 2 minutes and then you stop and then you let her talk for 2 minutes and then you stop and you keep going back and forth like that until you reach a resolution. You don't walk out of the room because you're getting frustrated. You don't walk out of the room because she's telling you the truth about how she felt about something that you did. You sit there and you take it. You take all of that crap to the face because you deserve it. And she has to get that off of her chest in order to move forward. If you don't let her get it off of her chest, she will never be able to move forward. But it's nothing to get it off of your chest if you're just going to go right back to the same behaviors. So you actually have to let her get it off her chest, truly listen. You might even want to take some notes while this is happening because this might actually be the first time you've ever really, truly listened to her. So she's going to have a lot of content for you. And you owe her a response to everything that she says to you. If you do this, you'll save your marriage overnight, guaranteed. Once you've moved through those steps, the next step is something that occurs kind of privately, and that is you start to think through all of the feedback you've ever been given over your life. So start with present day and roll backwards. Former spouses, former girlfriends, other people in your life who've given you feedback who no longer speak to you, who cut you off completely possibly. What did they say to you? What was it that they said for the reason that they're no longer talking to you? What reason did they give? What reason do you believe to be the reason that they're no longer talking to you? People give reasons. People tell us all the time how they feel about things and why. Narcissists just have a tendency to disregard it, to throw it in the trash like it means nothing. So, and just like I said earlier in the video, once you get your words thrown in the trash more than once, eventually you have nothing to do with that person anymore because what they're basically saying is, I don't value you. You're not real. You might as well be an artificially intelligent robot. You're not a real person. I don't really have to listen to you. Look at how people treat Siri. What kind of horrible, nasty things have you said to Siri? Why? Because Siri's a robot. She's artificial intelligence. She doesn't have feelings. So Siri doesn't care what you say to her. You can verbally abuse Siri and she usually has some smart aleck remark to give back to you. She doesn't care. But real people are not like that. Real people care. Real people remember. So that's another thing that narcissists have a tendency to do. They think people don't remember what they've done to them. They think that if you just take a really good nap, wake up and have a good breakfast with some oatmeal and get those oats down into the bottom of your stomach, that you'll forget the abuse you went through the day before. And it's just not true. It's not how human beings work. Narcissists have a tendency to try to override principles, and that's one of the principles they try to override. The principle of, if I abuse someone, they're going to remember it. They may or may not forgive me for it, but they'll never forget it. And narcissists forget that. And then you do multiple abuses over time. And when I say abuse, I don't mean physical, so don't take that literal. I mean mental, emotional, verbal abuse, which many people say is worse. Many people have said, I would have rather him beat me up than him do what he did to my mind, my emotions, my self-esteem, my self-worth. I would have rather taken some hits than have gone through that. It took longer to get over the emotional abuse than physical abuse. Bruises heal, but the heart, mind, and soul take a lot longer to heal. And people do not forget that. So I want you to think through all of the feedback you've been given over your life and determine what is the common thread, what is the common theme, and then just do the opposite of that. Stop doing that and just do the opposite. You'll have amazing results. The next thing that you'll have to do to start moving away from this narcissistic mindset is really ask yourself the honest question, what am I afraid of losing by giving up this behavior? Narcissistic fence walkers have a choice. True narcissists, in my opinion, also have a choice. Theirs is just a little bit harder due to other things like, I don't know, demonic possession, but we won't get into all that on this video. But true narcissists are taken over by something else, so their choices are somewhat limited. They do still have one though. You, however, are a fence walker, meaning you're 50-50, meaning you're half in and half out of your house. So what I mean by that is you only live in the bedroom of your house versus the whole entire house. I'm trying to get you to live in the whole entire house. So you have to ask yourself, what am I afraid of by being different? I know what I'm doing. I know what the impact is of my behaviors, and yet I continue. So what am I afraid of losing by stopping? Are you afraid of making your wife correct? Are you afraid of her winning? So what? Let her win. Okay, she won. Great, but you get to save your whole entire marriage for her winning this one argument. So what's more important to you? Her winning this argument or saving your whole entire marriage? You have to at some point accept you're going to take L's every now and then in this life. Sometimes we win a lot and sometimes we lose a little. Sometimes we lose a lot and sometimes we win a little, but we all get a little bit of both. You can't win everything. And your determination to win as opposed to doing what's right is what's going to make her walk out of the door, because nobody likes people like that. Super competitive people who have to win everything. One-uppers who always have done it bigger and better and badder. You break out a game of Monopoly and everyone leaves the party because you made the game so miserable because you just had to win the game of Monopoly. It's not fun. People who can really have fun with each other accept someone's going to lose and someone's going to win, but we're all going to be friends afterward. But that firm commitment to winning at all costs is what's going to destroy you. That's what the cancer cell does. The cancer cell by itself individually is not a bad thing. The problem is cancer doesn't know when to stop. Cancer has to win. So cancer continues to consume the whole entire body until it's won, but then it kills its very host. And that's what narcissism is. This unnatural desire to win, consume, take in, pull in, to conquer everything to the point where you destroy the very organism that is holding you. That's like digging holes in a boat that you're on. So you just keep punching holes in the boat because you're like, I'm going to punch the most holes in this boat. He is not going to punch more holes than me. I am. And before you know it, yeah, you punch the most holes, but now your boat is sinking and you have no life raft and no life jacket. You're going to die. So you've destroyed the very organism that you're a part of. That's what cancer does, and that's what narcissists do. So you have to ask yourself, again, what exactly am I afraid of losing by giving up this behavior? And I'll tell you the answer. You're afraid of losing control. And that's very, very much it. That's all that it is. You don't want to lose control. You don't want to lose this feeling of power and dominance. You don't want to lose your position of power. And that's fine. You don't have to lose it, but you're going to hold on to it right into divorce court is what I'm telling you. The next thing I would advise you to do is observe your friends. I just did a video called Roaches Aren't Bothered by Each Other. So who are your friends? Who is in your circle of friends? What types of things do they talk about? Are they living very successful lives? Are they victims or are they owners? Do they take charge of their lives or do they blame their life on everyone else? Do they make excuses for the things that they've done wrong in their life, or do they examine their life and say, you know what, I messed up right there and I can do better next time? What kind of friends are you around? Because I guarantee you, your circle of friends is reinforcing this behavior. They probably all hate women. Half of them are probably married, the other half are probably single, but they share that common hatred, and they're pumping that hatred into your mind, and you're carrying it over into your house, trying to honor the brotherhood, and she doesn't even know where all this is coming from. She's like, who is this guy? Where is he getting this stuff from? So you're trying to puff your chest out so you can run back and have good stories to tell the brotherhood. Meanwhile, your marriage is crumbling, and the brotherhood couldn't be happier because they need more members. They need more people to keep each other company because they will be alone forever because of the way they think. They think I don't like them because of who they are, and they couldn't be more wrong. I don't like you because of how you think. Your thinking is not only destructive to yourself, it's destructive to everyone else around you, just like a cancer cell. So I have hope for you, the person. I don't have hope for your thought process, and that's what I despise, but they'll never hear that. They'd never make it this far in the video. My next piece of advice is to not only watch my videos and do the opposite of everything that I'm describing in those videos, but more than that, forget the videos. Go to my comment sections and spend some serious time there. Get some coffee, get a tea, get a beer, get whatever you need, turn off the TV, and comb through my comment sections. Read them. Read what people have gone through. Read what narcissists do to people. Read the kind of stress they put people in their lives through. And ask yourself, is this the type of person I want to be? Is this the type of legacy that I want to leave behind? So I highly advise that. If you had to choose between the two, go read the comment sections, forget the videos, and understand that this type of behavior is not without consequence. I think a lot of individuals who are narcissistic or narcissistic fence walkers tend to think that everyone feels like them, which is pretty much nothing. Most narcissists lack empathy, so they don't feel the same emotions that other people do. And as a result, they do to other people things that can be done to them but would have no effect. You have to understand that there's something missing from you, and that thing is called empathy. But you're missing that thing that helps you feel what other people feel, that teaches you and talks to you and says, if that happened to you, this is how you would feel. So that's probably how they feel. Look through and try to develop a sense of understanding, even if you can't feel it. Try to develop a sense of understanding. A lot of narcissists have a tendency to say things like, oh, get over it. Oh, shake it off. Oh, this is a cold world and you have to learn how to cope in it. Yeah, it's cold because of people like you. It's cold by choice. It's not cold because it has to be. It's cold because people make the choice to be cold and nasty. Aside from those who are truly possessed of narcissism, they're in a whole nother category, but you're their kissing cousin. You're their stepson. You're their stepdaughter. You're halfway in their world. I'm trying to pull you back over into reality, and they're trying to pull you to the dark side. Don't allow yourself to be pulled to the dark side. Turn on the news. Look at all these narcissists running rampant. Right now, we have 2 narcissists in the middle of an international pissing contest, and somebody's going to get hurt. A lot of people are going to get hurt because neither one of them know when to stop, right? So look what narcissism has done to our world. Look what it's doing to our current state of affairs. Because 2 narcissists have risen to power, and because neither one of them can lose, and both of them have major egos, a whole lot of people are going to die, just like a cancer cell. Now we got 2 cancer cells going to war with each other over the same body. So some portion of that body is going to get wiped out because they don't know when to stop. That's narcissists' main problem. They just are so greedy in terms of their supply that they have to be the winners at all costs. Finally, and certainly not last, but I want to keep this video somewhat short, is you have to make the decision to change today. After you hear this video, if you choose to go back to your normal way of life, then you might be a full-blown narcissist. But if you listen to this video and anything resonated with you, you have to make the decision to step away from those behaviors and step into better behaviors. You have to make the choice to stop treating your wife that way and stop treating anyone else that way who might be in your life. Make the decision. It's not something you're going to feel. It's something you have to actively decide to do. Read up on narcissism, study it, see yourself in those words and say, I don't want to be this person anymore. I don't like what that person is. I don't like what this person does to other people. I don't want my sisters, aunts, cousins, nieces, and even brothers, nephews, sons growing up in a world of people who think like I do. What kind of world is that? Ask yourself that question. If everyone on my block thought exactly the way I do, and treated people exactly the way that I do, what kind of world am I living in? So this is just a short list. It certainly could go on and on. I could have 20 different points for you, but again, trying to keep the video somewhat short. I believe that you were sincere, and because I believe you were sincere, I've made this video just for you, but I certainly hope that other people benefit from it, and I hope that your life changes. I hope that in a year or 6 months or so, you'll come back and say, Permission, I tried all of the stuff that you said, and it actually really worked for me, and my marriage turned around. My life is turning around. Things are better on the job. Things are better in my social circles. Or I would love to hear, I got rid of all the narcissists in my social circle and in my immediate life. I would love to hear that. That would do my soul and my spirit such good. But I hope that you find this video helpful, and I thank you for your question, and I thank you for your sincerity in trying to find some help. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, I grant you the permission to exist. Bye-bye.